this. Yes. Squat the top. Yes. Perfect. Now, the secret ingredient is perfect. Now we wait. It's alive! It's alive! What's up guys, James here from Boot Reviews, and today we are going to do something very special. We're going to make our very own Frankenstein boot. We are going to make the ultimate power boot. So the idea here is that we're going to go through power boots throughout the years, and we're going to pick different elements that we want that we would put together to make the ultimate power boot. So I've got to give a huge shout out to the guys over at Boothypes.com. This whole video is based on an article on their website. So I'll leave a link to that down in the description, and you can head over there and check out what Boothype.com think makes up the perfect power boot. So remember to like this video, remember to get subscribed, and of course put down in the comments what you think are all the elements that make up the perfect power boot. Let's get into it. So if we're talking power boots, they have to have at least one thing, and that is the striking element. So what is the perfect striking element for a power boot? I had a thought, I was like, oh, maybe the T90s. So we've got the T90 Laser range with this huge striking surface, or alternatively, the big rubberized striking element on the side, but neither of them really did it for me with the off-center lacing, and they just didn't offer enough in terms of grip or movement. So they're out. Next up, we have to look at what is the king of the power boot, the Predator line. Now, the Predator striking element evolved over time, so while we all have really fond memories of what we got from the Mania, from the Accelerator, the Precision, they didn't offer quite as much grip and movement on the ball as the later releases, which were admittedly less well received. So I basically went between the Adidas LZ, I think that was fantastic, offered really good rubber grip on the ball, and then I think that only gets pushed out because of what came after it, not the LZ2, the Instinct. This offered a seriously good rubber striking element. It was the grippiest one we'd ever seen, and it covered so many key areas of the boot. Would have been my pick had it not been for something that came along very recently. That's right, we can argue about whether it's a power boot or not down in the comments, but the brand new Predator. I think this is the best rubber striking element that we've ever got on a pair of football boots. It offers the best grip, you get the best reaction from it, and this demon skin technology is fantastic. The options for it are limitless. I think that the best rubber striking element we've ever got on a pair of football boots is on the brand new Adidas Predator 20 range. So we're taking the demon skin. Next up, we need an upper material, something to put that power element on. Now, as perfectly pointed out by the guys at Boothype, those early boots were all based around leather uppers, Manias, Precisions, things like that, and then we gradually transitioned into more flexible, more lightweight options from other brands, and of course in the Predator, where it moved away from leather. But I don't want to pick something from either Adidas or Nike here. I think there is a perfect upper material for a power boot, and it's very underrated. I'm picking the Adapt-Lite synthetic from the Puma Evopower line, originally launched on the Evopower 1 and following through onto other Evopower lines, the Evopower 2, Evopower 3. I think this is a phenomenal synthetic material, and I think it would be perfectly acceptable on a modern day football boot. It was crazy soft out of the box. It gave you a little bit of padding because you never really wanted something too barefoot on a power boot, but also give you a great connection to the ball. This is a wholly underrated synthetic on what could be considered a wholly underrated boot line, and I am 100% behind putting the Adapt Light synthetic on my perfect power boot. Now we need some tooling, something that's going to be fairly aggressive, maybe a little iconic. We still want it to keep the boot a bit lightweight, but what do we want from our sole plate and stud pattern? Now, the guys over at Boothype.com have taken a different sole plate and stud pattern from two different boots. I've taken a slightly different approach because I couldn't separate the two out, and I've gone for the sole plate and the stud pattern from the Evopower. The Evopower sole plate was based off the Sprint frame, which made it very light, and then you combine in these bladed studs, and I think this stud configuration is incredible. It's been really amazing. It offers fantastic traction, and I was actually really sad to see this go. And another element where I've gone completely the opposite direction to Boothype, this particular sole plate also had the power spine built in. Now, the whole idea here was to prevent the boot going backwards to give you a better shot on the ball. Now, I wouldn't say that works. I wouldn't say it gives you extra power, but I do like a slightly stiffer sole plate with a bit of springback. After a couple of wears, this was perfect for me. So, for the sole plate and stud pattern, all as one package, I am taking the Evopower. And finally, the X Factor. What is it that you want your boot to look like? What vibes do you want it to give off? This is a very simple choice for me. It's a little bit of bias, it's a little bit obvious, but I have to go for it. It's of course the Predator Mania. This is one of my favourite boots of all time. It's the first main top-end boot that I bought with my own money. David Beckham used to wear them. I'm a huge David Beckham fan. It really couldn't be anything else for me. My X Factor, that little bit of added spice that's going to make this boot special and stand out, it's got to be the Predator Mania. So using all of those elements, maybe some more if you want to change it up a bit, what would your ultimate power boot be? Put it down in the comments. I'd be really interested to find out. I strongly recommend that you head over to Boothype.com and check out their article on the perfect power boot and see what they picked. It's very different to mine in some cases. If you did like this video, the ultimate boot series, then do stick a like on this video and we can try and get some more out to you. I'll get back over to the guys at Boothype and we'll have a conversation about it. And of course, if you're not already, get subscribed, and you can support the channel by heading over to patreon.com/bootwizard. But that's all from me here today. I hope you enjoyed it. Have a good one, and we'll see you soon.